Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, wondering, what's the point of it all? Or maybe, who am I really? And what am I doing with my life? Well, believe it or not, those questions are exactly where existential therapy begins. I want to share a unique, thought provoking approach to psychotherapy, existential therapy. It's a style of therapy that doesn't shy away from the big questions. Instead of focusing on symptoms or diagnosis, it focuses on meaning, on choice, on what it really means to be alive. Existential therapy was shaped by some truly fascinating thinkers. Rollo May, an American psychologist who brought existential philosophy into psychotherapy. He believed that psychological struggles come from avoiding life's fundamental challenges. Things like freedom, responsibility, isolation, and mortality. But May wasn't alone. He was inspired by philosophers like Soren Kierkegaard and Friedrich Nietzsche, Martin Heidegger, and Jean-Paul Sartre, big names with even bigger ideas. These thinkers explored what it really means to live authentically and how we can find purpose in a world that doesn't hand us easy answers. So, what's the main idea behind existential therapy? In short, life's full of choices, and those choices define who we are. It's about taking responsibility for our lives, not blaming others, not hiding behind excuses, but owning the freedom we have to create meaning, even when it feels uncertain. Existential therapists such as Emmy Van Gerzen emphasizes that much of human distress arises when we try to escape the freedom, responsibility, and uncertainty that define existence. We fear making the wrong choices. We fear rejection or death or the idea that life might not have a fixed purpose. Those fears can lead to anxiety, guilt, and confusion. But instead of seeing that anxiety is wrong, existential therapy sees it as a signal, a sign that we're confronting the reality of being human. According to this approach, mental distress often arises when we live inauthentically, when we ignore our true values or go through life on autopilot. Maybe we follow what others expect of us or chase goals that don't feel us meaningful. Over time, that disconnection can make life feel empty or directionless. But here's the good news. Existential therapy isn't about despair. It's about freedom. It's about realizing that even though we can't control everything, we can always control how we respond and how we choose to live. Healing in existential therapy comes through self-awareness, understanding the choices we make and values we hold. It comes through acceptance, acknowledging that uncertainty, pain, and loss are all part of life. And most importantly, it comes through meaning, of finding and creating a sense of purpose that makes life feel worth living. In practice, existential therapy isn't a set of techniques or step-by-step instructions. It's more like conversation, a shared exploration between a therapist and a client. The therapist might ask, what gives your life meaning? Or how do you experience freedom? Or what does it mean to live authentically? Because remember, it can mean different things to every person. These questions are meant to intimidate. They're meant to open up deeper reflection and help people reconnect with their inner truth. The therapist listens carefully, challenges gently, and encourages honestly. There is not judgment, no labels, just curiosity, presence, and genuine human connection. Existential therapy works especially well for people who feel stuck, lost, or unsure about their purpose. It can help with depression, anxiety, grief, or major life transitions. But really, it's for anyone who wants to live with more awareness, courage, and authenticity. At its core, this approach believes that we all have the capacity to live fully and meaningfully, no matter what life throws at us. It's not about avoiding pain, it's about learning to face it with honesty and grace. As Rollo May once said, the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice, it's conformity. Existential therapy invites us to step out of our conformity, to stop living someone else's story and start writing our own. So, if person-centered therapy is about discovering your true self through acceptance, then existential therapy is about choosing your true self through freedom and responsibility. Because at the end of the day, life doesn't hand us meaning. We create it. And in that creation, we find ourselves.